This isn't simply rap anymore, so you guys had better respect Kendrick Lamar's name. This is history that is life-altering, community-shaking, and legacy-building. While people on the internet continue to debate which bars are superior, with just a $10 million donation and a pair of gold scissors, Kendrick transformed a city's destiny. Yes, exactly. A fresh new era has begun at Compton High School. And who, with a silent smile and tears in his eyes, stood in the spotlight cutting that ribbon? Caught himself. Don't get it wrong, though. This was not your typical check drop for influence. This was a moment that had been building for 25 years. He went from being a young boy passing that very building to becoming the man who completely renovated it. And an infant, the media discovered that Kendrick funded far more than just windows and brickwork as they began to investigate the story. Scholarships, art studios, mental health wings, tech laboratories, and the icing on the cake. During the ceremony, a hidden mural was shown that brought people to tears. This is more than simply hip-hop, so let's dissect it all. Kendrick Lamar is becoming a legend outside of the microphone, he claims. To truly grasp why this $10 million moment occurred the way it did, let's rewind this tape. You learned about Kendrick Lamar's background and why this was more than a simple ribbon cutting. He was going back to his origins, the city that reared him, molded him, and witnessed his transformation from Kenny Duckworth to Kendrick Lamar was Compton. Rap philosopher, Grammy monster, and Pulitzer Prize winner. However, before the international stages and platinum plaques, Kendrick was just another young man attempting to stay focused, smart, and safe while navigating Compton's crumbling pavements. It was a place where violence wasn't a story point and opportunity felt like a luxury. In Good Kid, Mad City, he rapped about it. He used it to create Pimp a Butterfly. Damn was his embodiment of it. And in Mr. Moral and the Big Steppers, he freed it. However, for Kendrick, giving back was more than just spouting money or a poem. It must have had some significance. It has to be authentic. And that's precisely why the school and this donation had distinct effects. For a moment, let's go back to 2017. Plans for a new high school were first floated by Compton Unified at that time. The city's current school was dilapidated, overcrowded, and, to be honest, in disrepair. But there was a lack of funding. The project was stalled. Kendra then discreetly and unobtrusively contacted the district. He uttered, "Whatever you guys need, I'm in." Initially, they believed he was referring to a speech, a visit, or possibly a fundraising event. However, Kendrick had more ambitious intentions. His goal was to construct a structure that will last for many generations. He aspired to provide children with the space he was denied as a child. His goal was to transform Compton High from a dilapidated ruin into a ray of hope. What did he do then? He summoned his group. He contributed $10 million of his own funds and talked with architects. He contributed to creating a vision, not merely a school. He also didn't merely pause at brand new structures. What do y'all actually need? He asked the parents, teachers, and children. Kendrick responded, "Done." The list included a fully furnished technology center, a creative arts wing with film and music studios, mental health counseling facilities, scholarships for seniors, and after-school programs that kept youth off the streets. Now, in the current year, such blueprints have come to pass. The most state-of-the-art public school building in all of South LA is now the new Compton High School campus. All of it, but above all, there is optimism in every quarter. And don't believe that this was merely a PR stunt. Kendrick didn't issue a press release to make the announcement. He didn't live stream on Instagram. Not even on his own pages did he advertise it. The man simply pulled up, silent, dressed all in black, and joined the mayor at the school's gate. Two scissors and the superintendent. This is how one news source put it. He appeared modest, concentrated, and present as if this were something larger than himself, as if he were entering a church. And that's because Kendrick wasn't the only one involved. The rapper, here was Kendrick, the community's pillar, the mentor, the man who transformed suffering into meaning, and who utilized every song, every check, and every tour to guide the next generation towards a better future. This is only the beginning, though. What occurred next, darling? When the real ribbon-cutting ceremony began, the crowd trembled. From unexpected cameos to a mural so moving that Kendrick broke down in tears on stage. Everyone in Compton sensed it in their hearts. Look, everyone assumed that today would be a calm day, a festivity, a moment of legacy. Kendrick Lamar brings a gift that most celebs only discuss as he returns home to bless Compton. However, infant drama doesn't care about ribbon cuttings because the atmosphere quickly changed as the event began, with the entire city in attendance. Let's dissect it. The gathering was enormous. Thousands of people, including children, alumni, members of the press, local authorities, and even former rap game adversaries, had to show up and show their respect. A jazzed-up rendition of All Right was played by a marching band. Kendrick's name was being chanted by the audience. The mural is then revealed. A 30-foot-tall artwork was painted on the new gymnasium's west wall, and the audience let out a gasp as the curtain came down. It was more than just a painting. There was a whole narrative here. A young Kendrick is seen on the left, strolling by himself in a school uniform under the streetlights. An open book with pages that change into lyrics is in the middle. Real bars from his first mixtapes, and on the right, Kendrick is surrounded by children like a contemporary prophet as he stands erect and holds his arms out. Teachers, grandparents, and journalists were crying. However, Kendrick froze, his eyes swelled, his hand went to his mouth, and for a moment, it appeared as though he was having trouble breathing. Why? Because there was a name tucked away in the mural's corner. Dave Free, a longtime collaborator, who inexplicably disappeared from Kendrick's inner circle following their creative separation back in 2020, is a name the media hasn't spoken in years. According to insiders, that element was supposedly added after the final versions were authorized, even though Kendrick did not approve of it. The instant was intended to be Kendrick's solitary legacy, but it now brought up serious issues. Had he and Dave Free made up? Was this tributo a secret, a public ambush? That wasn't even the messiest part, though, darling. A protester in the rear of the audience started yelling, "Why didn't you build this for George Floyd? Why now? Why not?" as the mayor took his place to give Kendrick the symbolic key to the city. Security arrived quickly, but not before phones were out. Within 30 minutes, the video became widely popular. The demonstrators later, recognized as a local activist, labeled the school a publicity hoax and accused Kendrick of doing too little, too late. And you know what? Fans of Drake took off with it. Yes, you read correctly. The protest clip was reposted by a number of burner accounts and troll pages with captions like "Lamar stays performative." All for a school but silent when it mattered. Drake donated in silence. Kendrick needed a ribbon suddenly. The ceremony wasn't trending for the school but rather for controversy. And although Kendrick didn't directly respond, those close to him claimed he was furious backstage. Let them talk. A source close to TTE reportedly overheard Kendrick say, just minutes after the protest and mural dispute, VH1 cameras showed up without permission, indicating that something else was simmering behind the scenes even as the storm erupted online. Yes, Love and Hip Hop was broadcast on VH1, the same network. According to reports, Hop was attempting to get a unique perspective on the Compton Renaissance. The Renaissance, additionally, they had a van across the street with a full video crew waiting. Officials from the local school system weren't amused. Although they instructed security to shut it down, people are now making assumptions. Was it VH1's intention to turn Kendrick's moment into a reality-style documentary series? Or worse, someone inside his team was leaking information for personal benefit because they couldn't possibly have arrived at the precise moment of the mural reveal. with NDAs and contracts in hand. According to insiders, one of Kendrick's extended PR team members was let go. The location and the cause jeopardized the artist's vision. We now have 3 significant bombshells. The mural features Dave's free name without Kendrick's permission. The entire event VH1 ambush was turned upside down by a protest that nearly turned a historic moment into the maelstrom of reality TV and tossed everything. Kendrick maintained his composure. The ceremony was concluded by him. He expressed gratitude to the pupils. He and the principal strolled through the corridors. Additionally, he murmured something to a pupil as he was leaving. Mike was caught. You're going to create something more significant than this. Only the initial step. It weighs too much. It's not quite finished, though. What transpired that evening following the ribbon cutting? Let's just say a private video showing Kendrick's crew debating the protest in a passionate manner was leaked. Day 3. And Kendrick ought to make a public statement. After the protest, the VH1 ambush, and that surprising Dave free name drop. On the mural, you all thought things couldn't get much more wild. Rethink your thought. Because a private video of Kendrick hugging pupils leaked mere hours after the event ended, while fans were still posting adorable TikToks of the moment. This was no ordinary behind-the-scenes video. Inside Kendrick's own camp, there was a heated dispute about what appeared to be a surveillance camera or perhaps the covert phone of a crew member. The sound is clear. Kendrick's voice was a damning example of his deep, piercing, controlled wrath, and we heard it backstage in what looked like a faculty conference room after the event. I promise you're done if anyone here handed Dave that mural file. You don't take over my narrative, not right now. A female voice, possibly that of his longtime helper, tries to soothe him. Kenny, it's only a name. Your eye was shaped by him. Understand what he did. Kendrick interrupts her. However, history will not be changed to make him the hero. Not right now. Then a deeper voice, aggressive, adds a voice. I warned you that VH1 was hiding for clicks. They have been attempting to bundle this moment. Someone off camera says this, which is when the true twist occurs. It's more than just a mural. The mural was leaked. The invite list and that protest were leaked. It was a proposed asterisk to hold on. What? The room suddenly becomes quiet. Then Kendrick talks once more. This was not a random event. The clip ends just after Kendrick murmurs, someone's playing both sides. That man is shouting. That was staged. Boom. Overnight, fans lost their minds over theories that either a member of Kendrick's team was surreptitiously feeding information to both #K and VH1 was working with Compton activists to craft a dramatic plot for a DACA series, or that someone from Dave Free's new production company was attempting to ruin Kendrick's moment for clout. #ComptonGate and the League began to gain international attention, and even major media outlets like Variety, Complex, and Billboard included news about Kendrick Lamar's internal sabotage of his $10 million moment. And to make matters worse, Kendrick's mural was vandalized the following morning. Yes, instead of the GOAT, spray paint Dave Free's name in red letters. And beneath it, the actual words, "Stop erasing us." Another leak was discovered that same day. Dairy's burner account's Instagram story was removed. The caption read, "It's funny how people before it vanished." A screenshot was taken. Forget who believed in them before the Pulitzer. Fans were split as never before in a matter of minutes. Some were Kendrick supporters. For the children, he did this. For a period. The moment Black excellence becomes popular, they invariably destroy it. Others began resurrecting old tales of his feud with Dave Free. Recall that the two were essentially siblings, Pilon co-founders, and soulmates in the artistic world. Then all of a sudden in 2020, quiet, no words, simply gone, people started to question if Kendrick had hidden the truth. Did Dave Free do more than work with others? Did he contribute to the actual plan for the school? Fans of Nicki Minaj joined in the commotion as if that weren't enough. Indeed, without cause. They began to criticize Kendrick for his prior silence on a number of problems, equating gatekeeping in the industry with this Compton cover-up. B even commented live, "Man, Kendrick received a reply. This lowly shyster is adorable, but people attempting to write his legacy. I would have destroyed the mural myself if I had been that person." Insiders claim that Kendrick is furious and considering whether to release a statement piece, but he hasn't said a word, tweeted, performed live, or even posted something passive-aggressively. Troco would react to everything at once with a one-time decrease, the demonstration, the media spin, the mural, the betrayal, and the sabotage. And you know what? Scissor Hands is the name of that rumored song. The music is recorded, mixed, and ready to release, according to leakers. The lyric "cut the ribbon, cut the ties, cut the snakes I let inside" is purportedly included in the chorus. That's freezing. Oh, fans, however, are divided. Dropping that track, according to some, would only make the situation worse. Others are pleading for Kendrick to get his moment back. In the midst of all of this, VH1 recently unveiled a teaser trailer for the documentary Compton Rises. The last image, a blurry figure, who resembles Kendrick, silently leaves the mural. Is it a coincidence or a complete setup? Oh no, sweetheart. This is no longer simply internet chatter. This is now a full-fledged cultural conflict. Because social media took fire, not simply exploded, the instant the backstage footage surfaced. Messy, every gossip blog, every hip-hop page. Stan's story began to analyze, defend, and drag out every moment of that video from the conference room. The worst part was that no one could agree on who the true villain was. Let's begin with the admirers. Kendrick's Hatch team came out strong. They cannot allow a black man to triumph peacefully. What? Kenny gave you guys an entire school. You're upset about a name on a wall. 2. These trolls created a false narrative. Instead of an asterisk, then hashtag Team Dave arrived. They call themselves the freethinkers. There are more brilliant minds behind the throne besides Kendrick. Dave Free is deserving of his bouquet. You cannot exclude people from your legacy and behave as if you're brand new. Why erase PG Long, along with you, was built by this individual. Kendrick wasn't the main focus until Team VH1 suddenly emerged from the shadows with the statement, "Actually, we were filming a doc on Compton. Leaders of the community gave us permission." Putting the wrong people at fault. Industry leaders, however, began picking sides in the most clumsy manner imaginable. As usual, T went live on Instagram without a shirt. He was pacing his kitchen. I don't really understand, but I can sense when Kendrick feels deceived. Loyalty must have some significance. In less than 7 minutes, but not before the screenshots flew, Cardi B took it all the way to the left and tweeted, "Y'all don't be building nothing for the community, but want to critique everybody who does." Questlove posted a black screen on Instagram with the words, "Art should never be hijacked." Not for ego, not for clout, not even for justice. It was subtle, shady, and poetic, but the wildest reaction. Erica Mena, yes, she suddenly entered the drama by commenting under A. People are speculating about whether Erica knew about the VH1 ambush beforehand, whether production planted the protester with assistance from former LHH insiders, or whether this was Kendrick's retribution for allegedly remaining silent when VH1 exploited black women on national television. Kendrick learned the hard way that he should never have trusted the network. And that's when things got ugly because fans remembered that VH1 is the same platform that aired her most controversial moments. You can build the world and they'll still throw stones was the title of a now-deleted Facebook post from an account connected to Kendrick's aunt. And that's why Kendrick's mother became involved. "I instructed my infant to hold his head high. We know who went missing and who helped." The street kid said, "Mama Duck isn't quacking on you guys." And while fans were still recovering from that spiritual Dave Free's cousin posted a photo of baby Kendrick and baby Dave at Compton Elementary with the caption, "Some things go deeper than contracts." contracts. Blood is a component of some items. Kendrick built this. Don't let drama rewrite that. The day-free mural moment was iconic. You can't cancel the truth. Meanwhile, Compton High's social media pages are in complete chaos. Their original ribbon cutting post went from 20K likes to over 100,000 in a single day, but the comments are a war zone. This school deserves better than being dragged into rap beef. We've waited decades for someone to give our kids hope, one former acting instructor wrote on TikTok, as did other former pupils and teachers. I don't care who was on the mural, a student YouTuber wrote. Kendrick did that, period. That school now has computers and a failing grade. However, the most widely shared moment was a TikTok duet in which a 6th grader from Compton responds to the artwork by quietly stating, "I hope to write like him someday." The comment that followed said, "This is why the drama isn't greater than the goal." And that hit different. Even the messiest blogs reposted it with teary emojis. But the war is still going on, and industry insiders say the real bombshell hasn't even been dropped yet because, guess what's going on behind the scenes? Kendrick might withdraw his funding. Yes, a $10 million school was built in his name, and he's reportedly reevaluating whether his name should even remain on the building after the betrayal, the leaks, and the online chaos. This wasn't a ribbon cutting. This wasn't a statement piece. And it was Kendrick Lamar walking up to the school gates in a plain white tee, faded jeans, and Vans with nothing but a black backpack. Security initially attempted to stop him, but they were caught. Finally, with the mural defaced, VH1 throwing shade, fans divided, and the internet on fire, Kendrick Lamar did what no one expected. He pulled up to Compton High alone. Without an entourage, security detail, the media, or even a surprised, Kendrick remained silent, simply pointing to the school's new plaque near the garden entrance that read, "In honor of Kendrick Duckworth Lamar for the Dreamers of Compton." According to sources, he then went straight to the principal's office and handed over the folder saying, "If they want to take my name off the building, let them, but they can't take away what's already been built." There were no cameras, no press release, just a calm whisper before departing. Within an hour, as fans were lamenting the removal of Kendrick's name from the school he founded, a new domain called www.dreamersandinsilence.org started to circulate. Guess who it was? Registered to by the time it returned, Kendrick's name was no longer on the homepage. You see, he truly did it. He left his own legacy behind. Partner, his children's mother, and the woman who has remained silent in public during every controversy, but this time she spoke. A 37-second video appeared on the website. Black screen. Whitney's voice dreams don't belong to buildings, networks, or murals. They belong to the children. If Kendrick's name is removed from that school, it will appear in every scholarship, notebook, and library book that those children touch. In a few minutes, the site crashed due to traffic, and fans were screaming and crying, praising Whitney for taking over when Kendrick chose to remain silent. Twitter was a mess, and Whitney simply cleared the room without even revealing her face. Kendrick left, but Whitney is protecting his soul, and we need her on the mural now. They don't need to remember him. They need to believe in themselves. Kendrick's camp sent out a final message through PG Lang's newsletter as the internet attempted to make sense of it all. You can erase a name. You can vandalize a wall, but the dream doesn't fade. It multiplies. The media is frantically trying to find answers, and VH1 has reportedly paused production on the Compton docuseries and students at Compton High. They started a petition called Put Kendrick's Name Back for Us. It reached 750,000 signatures in less than a day. But here's the scary part. According to insiders, Kendrick has been working on a covert movie called Everything I Left Behind, which is a visual memoir rather than a documentary or music video. The last scene, they say, is when he leaves Compton High. It's poetic, painful, and powerful, but it's also unfinished because, as Whitney stated, this story isn't over. If your jaw is still on the ground, you are not alone. We need to hear from you now. Did Kendrick walk away after the drama? Do you think VH1 and industry insiders sabotaged the entire moment out of jealousy or power moves? Or was Dave Free the unsung hero in all of this who just wanted his own flowers? And what about those dreamers on the silence.org site? Whitney, Alfred interrupted with a whisper that rocked the entire culture. This isn't just a story about a school. It's a story about who gets to own the legacy. If you believe that legacy is more than just plaques and murals, hit the subscribe button because you can be sure that this Kendrick versus the industry saga is just getting started. Do you think Whitney is going to take PG Long in a different direction of her own? Or is Kendrick planning something even bigger than we ever imagined with that rumored film Everything I Left Behind? Drop your theories, your hot takes, and your heartbreaks because this story isn't just drama, it's history. Whatever happens next, if you're riding with Kendrick and Whitney, stay tuned because the truth is always one leak away, finally, according to a source. A former VH1 employee is set to reveal a contract that Kendrick never signed, which could reveal the true reason his name was removed from the school. Slip away.